Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Titanium series. Today I have for you a Brown Knives FSD. I'm going to refer to this as the full size because he does have a mini FSD. Brown Knives is operated out of Blaine, Washington, so this is made in the US. Craig Brown is a aerospace engineer who is the designer and custom knife maker. Let's get down and talk about some measurements. Overall, we're looking at about 8 5/8 of an inch. Cutting edge is coming in at 3 3/8 of an inch. The handle is coming in at 4 3/4 of an inch. The width is coming in at 1 3/8 of an inch. And the thickness is about 3/8 of an inch. Let's take a look at the weight. 5.08 to 5.11 ounces. Let's try that again. 5.11 ounces. Okay, 5.8. 4.08 ounces. You get the idea. I feel it's pretty light for its size, though. It's quite a large knife overall. Let's also put more perspective by comparing it to some other more recognizable models. The first one is your Benchmade 940. And on top, we got your Spyderco PM2. As you can see, it is larger than both of these knives. Cutting edge is quite comparable to the PM2, as well as the Benchmade, probably about 1/4 of an inch or less larger. And to give you one more perspective, is the bottom one is your mini FSD. So definitely a mini because they scale down the size quite a bit. Very noticeable. All right, but we're here to talk about the full size FSD, so let's talk about that blade. We got satin hollow grind on this. It's got a raised bevel, so lots of belly for slicing. The swedge is where they put the fuller in to allow for an additional deployment option. It's got jimping on the spine right here. I would say it's very subtle, so not too aggressive. And right here's the choil. You could use it as a finger choil. It's a little sharp right here, so I personally do not use it for that reason. And let's talk about all the deployment methods. So you got your middle finger flick, you got your thumb roll, you got your flipper tab, and your front flip. There you go. So at least 4 different ways to deploy this knife. The steel type is actually mentioned on the handle. So with this variant, he was making them with 154 CM or CPM-20CV steel. I opted for the 20CV, which is denoted right there with the 20. And these are all individual serialized, so mine is number 108. Let's talk about the handle. I opted in for the milling style number 1 for both the handle as well as the pocket clip. And we'll get to the pocket clip in a little bit. As you can see, we got oversized pivot collar. And there's a pivot screw on the side. And let's see. It has a really clean look. It's got one screw for the body that goes through the back spacer right here. And then we got, what else? Nice, very well done on the pattern. He's got a few milling style he offers for many of his models, at least his more recent models. A lot of work, a lot of detail. Well, maybe not. Detail is debatable, but it's definitely well done. It's as it comes down, the pattern shrinks. Let's talk about the pocket clip. It's not very stiff, and for me, it's done wonders for whatever thicknesses on different pants I've worn while carrying this knife. Let's take a shot of that in the pocket. Go. It's not deep carry pocket clip, as you can see, so you are going to have a bit of knife sticking out. Still plenty of room to get your hands in there. Just get you a shot of what that looks like on the outside. Not that anyone will clip their knife like that. Let's talk about availability and price point. When I picked this up, which was nearly 2 years ago, so June of 2022, I got this on his pre-order because his knives are very hard to get. They sell instantly when they drop. And I paid $8.25 for this. It is currently not available from Craig Brown or Brown Knives if you go on the website. Again, I'll leave resources as I usually do in the description. But I would say really the only way to pick this up is off the secondary market. As far as I'm concerned, I don't believe he is making another batch of these. He's currently focused on the Cortex XL model. Let's talk about my final thoughts. I really like this knife. Feels great in hand, no hot spots whatsoever. I mean, calling back out, if you were to choke up and use this portion, the choil, as a finger choil, if you put too much weight against it, then you will feel the sharpness on this part of the blade. I've used it for many things, one of which I always do, is cutting up, meal prep. So slicing up fruit or eating my steak on a cutting board. Gets through it pretty easily, especially with the hollow grind. It makes it nice and slicey. I've sharpened it as well, so sharpened up really nice as well. And this kind of acts like a sharpening choil, so that way you're not overextending and hitting the handle. Yeah, it's a beautiful knife. It gives you lots of different options. One thing again to call out, again, he's doing the Cortex XL right now, so if you go and check out his knives and you're interested in that model, just sign up for his newsletters and you'll get notified when he's doing his drops. Now, I understand at $825, that is a hefty sum of money. This is, for me, classified as a custom knife. Maybe not a handmade custom, but a custom knife nonetheless, due to the quality, the fit and finish, the detail, and obviously the price point. But so I'm not advocating for anyone to go and spend $825 on a knife. Truly am not. But if you're already playing in that space and you have knives in that price range, this is a great contender. Now, since he's not making these directly anymore, you would have to go to a secondary market to be able to pick one of these up. Take your pick. There's plenty out there. I use Blade Forums, and you find a lot of great people on there for the most part, and at least from my experience. And so you should be able to find one on there. And his knives hold a decent value. If you buy one, use it, as long as you're not abusing it, you should be able to resell it back at 75 to 80% of what you paid. Especially if you buy it from a secondary market, you could probably get close to whatever you paid for it, depending on obviously how much you paid for it. Yeah, so if you're already playing in the $825 price range, this is a great option, and it's a beautiful knife. I've also communicated with Craig plenty of times. He's a pleasant guy to deal with and work with, friendly, cordial, all of that. So, you know, you can trust in that you're not spending your money on a knife from a maker who isn't customer oriented, so to speak. All right, well, really appreciate your time. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Post any comments you have, whether or not you have this in your collection already. If you're looking to pick one of his knives up, you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to post them. Make sure you subscribe if you want to get notified for the next video. Make sure you click the bell icon because you don't automatically get notified when you subscribe to a channel. And otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay frosty and make good choices.